So as usual, I look on Facebook and I see something about, a complaint of baby mothers about these babies' fathers, right? And it seems to be an existing, continual, repetitious type of thing. For real, nigga. That's my son over there. He got something to say about it too. So let me put it to you like this from a street nigga. The truth being, you bitches was taught wrong. Your mothers lied to you, your aunties lied to you, all the bitches you ever met in your life lied to you and told you life was a fucking fairy tale and that, there was really unicorns and shit like that. No, bitch. But don't get it wrong, you bitch ass niggas is fucked up too. Cause I don't give a fuck what you doing in the streets or anything like that, nigga. You make time for anything. It should definitely be for your children. You know what I'm saying? For your life will extinguish and you will be carried on throughout the DNA and the spirit that is instilled in your children, that continues on your life, the information from your whole existence, right? Now, ladies, bitches, women, hookers, tramps, sluts, whatever the fuck thoughts, booty calls, whatever you were or are ever going to be. Understand something, right? And I've said this before, you like a nigga because a nigga's thug, he's in the streets, he gives no fucks. You like that shit. You like that shit. You like when it's raw like that. You like a nigga to be tough. Well, that's a natural instinct that gravitates to the aggressiveness of a male, because your natural instinct is to be with an aggressive bull, a bull, right? You shouldn't be with the bullshit though, but a bull. You gotta get fucked right. You gotta have what you gotta have. But you need protection, security, and education, right? And that's what a nigga should be. A man should be. A male should be. If you're going to be up under him in any type of degree, so your reflection reflects, the teachings and the lessons of that individual that you have made your choice to. But you ladies gotta get better with your selection. Like seriously, like. If a nigga's a gang member and he's on drugs and all that type of shit and he's wild and rambunctious, something like a Bam back in the day, how can you expect anything different? That's what you met him as. You're dumb as fuck to even have a different expectation. You can only expect what you've been getting. You can only expect on the potential of what he's allowed you to believe by action. But you bitches think because you get with a nigga and you get pregnant. All right. Real bitches need to talk to these little bitches. Talk to them. Like, for real. Let them know what you went through. Stop keeping this shit a secret and blowing smoke up these young bitches' ass. Stop dooming the future generations for turmoil and destruction. Like seriously, man. Because some of these females is literally going crazy because they believed, to believe is to not know, they believed that their pussy was so good that it would literally change the makeup of a motherfucker. Come on, bitch. Pussy good, but it ain't gonna do that. Pussy will destroy relationships and all kind of shit. But one thing that it'll never do is change a motherfucker. Don't get that wrong, bitch. Pussy is about a feel. It has nothing to do with logic, right? In order to get a motherfucker to change, you got to change a motherfucker's mental. You have to show him the logic in order to shape, shift, or change the behavior and the actions. I don't care how good you deep throat a dick. I don't care how good you ride a dick. Cowgirl, reverse cowgirl, doggy style, froggy style, Spider-Man, whatever it is. Yeah, I know a few of them things. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. The hemlock. Yeah. You're going to have to inbox me to understand what these moves is, but that's some Perry boy shit. Anyway, so, but that would be like me getting with a female that's promiscuous, right? I know the bitch like to fuck. I know because this is probably how I met the bitch in my younger days. But anyway, I can have no expectation on a bitch to be faithful. That is just dumb as fuck. I don't give a fuck how good I strokes that shit. And I'm talking about strokes that just hit that shit. Oh, girl, you better stop playing for. I put that stroke up, that wave dick up in it. Excuse me. I'm crazy as shit. Sometimes I lose myself. But back to the point at hand. 1,000 apologies too. I'm a Virgo. I can't help some of the shit that I do. I'm crazy as fuck. But, you know, you can't believe that you gonna change a nigga. So if a nigga was this when you met him because you fucked and conceived a child and the baby is coming and you're thinking seriously as the baby's growing in you, doesn't mean that that's going to change the nigga. If the nigga been doing this all his life, it's never going to change the nigga. That growth and development, that evolution of success within oneself definitely has to come from within the individual. And and ladies, look, bitches, you know, if you're not going to stay with a nigga as he develops in his own due time, stop trying to control the nigga and then say that he's trying to control you, because that's not the situation. That nigga was doing him all his life. Let him continue to grow. Your selection has to be better homework to see if a nigga has reached the stages, not just the ages, right? Not just the ages, but the stages. Me, I'm 40 motherfucking years old. And I'm still wild and crazy and in the streets and in the mix and all that type of stuff. But you see what I do? You guys see it on Facebook. I make time for my son. I try to make time for my children. If I ain't making time for my children, it's because I'm displeased with an ill behavior that they know better of to do that will make me upset. And so I refrain from them as a punishment, because really what can I do? I could beat them up over and over and over and over again. But as a person that went through that growing up, that really never did nothing. That just made me harder. That just made my pain level go up more. That just made me more insensitive to the world and shit going on and give no fucks like I give no fuck now. But because I would get whoopings and I wouldn't get the educational process after the whooping or after the violation, somebody wouldn't set me down and have a real conversation with my intellect and my logic to make me understand changing this up here, so therefore I could process the logic, and therefore the next time that it happened, instead of a whooping, it kicks in. And if I don't change the act of what I'm doing, trust me, I'm gonna be a whole lot more polished with this game of how I get it done. Believe that, because they just ain't gonna be beating on me, because, you know, somebody talked to me and educated me pretty much while they was talking to me about it on how it is to slick that shit and be more polished about it. See, it ain't what you do, it's how you do it. You know what I'm saying? And everything you do don't have to be in the spotlight. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck what's going on. If you a man and you got a child in the world, nigga, fuck that bitch, fuck that bitch, fuck that bitch trying to control you. Don't ever let the bitch control you in the first place. But it ain't even about the bitch, my nigga. It's about that's your seed. You need to protect, teach, and provide for that little motherfucker. And the reason being because they need you. That bitch don't need you. And you know that. You know what I'm saying? So you don't need the bitch. And they're expendable. You know what I'm saying? They're expendable. They was a fuck. An allotted season where you got yours in, did what you could do with. But come on, bitch, you got to know when we started off, I'm not like you. My mind ain't working. Bitch, you're not marriage material. You got to put that work in. You got to show a man that his selection needs to be you, because your selection is him, and that's it and that's all. But bitch, you can't get with me and think, or him or any male, and think that you're going to be the bitch that you want to be in regards to me or the man. No, you got to be the bitch that he requires you to be in order to open up the mind enough to make certain considerations on whether or not you're deserving enough, because you've been around enough, you put in enough work in regards to him, enough stock into him, to where the investment is no other but you. I don't care how long it takes for the nigga to act right. One thing's for sure and two is for certain. That nigga's paying attention, but you can't just do a little bit, you know? If you can't do as much as a nigga's mama and love a nigga like his mama, how can you expect him to love you like his mama? Respect you like his mama or his grandmother or his auntie or anything like that. You have to start stationing yourself to be like these women that are of significance and gain concern and interest to what they're saying. Outside of that, you're going to stay bitter, bitch. And you deserve to be bitter because you didn't do your homework and understand yourself and what it was that you would require of him. You had a baby. Now you got all these expectations and requirements because the baby is coming. Well, you did that to yourself. He wasn't that type of nigga. No time. Oh, now you got a baby. You think it just magically, this faucet Lucky Charms, bitch, it's just magically delicious? No, it's not, bitch. This is reality and actuality. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, stop making the moves that you make and thinking that this child is going to be the answer all, the Wizard of Oz. It's going to give your lion a heart. It's going to give your straw man a brain. It's going to give you the red slippers when things get too hairy to click Dorothy and get back to home, because you just want to go back to not having a kid and a baby's dad and being frustrated all the time because you can't control this nigga and you done gave him a child. No, you can't control a man, period. That's some fag shit in the first place. Control your goddamn self, right? If you know that, tripping all the time makes this nigga flight and flee away from you, then maybe you want to change that. If really what it is that you want is for him to be closer to you. Instead of not having any understanding, you might want to try with all your might to give a level of understanding to where, the nigga's like, yeah, this is my boo. I can holler at her about anything. Even if she ain't really feeling it, she still got some level of understanding. She does what I need her to do. When I fuck up, she lets me know that I fucked up, but she ain't about to go all crazy and shit like that. She's about to spank me in such a way that educates me just like my mother or my grandmother or my auntie. If you ain't that type of a woman, then you ain't never gonna be nothing but just another bitch with a baby. Real shit.